Online games are luring people in.
So why has virtual gaming suddenly taken off, especially on Facebook? Action 3's Liz Dorland is logging on to find out.
An online gaming craze.
I feel good. I feel powerful.
Facebook games like Bejeweled, Mafia Wars, even games that mirror real life like Farmville and Farmtown are roping in users.
It can be a pretty big responsibility running a fake farm.
And a lot of fun for people like Nick Urke.
Became hooked pretty much immediately once you start planting some crops and doing some harvesting, and you start seeing the money add up.
From corn to grapes to orange trees, even sheep, pigs, horses, and cows, anything goes on Nick's virtual farm.
If you fence them in, they don't run around.
Just like real life, the more you harvest, the more play money comes in.
You see the money just rolling in.
Meaning some people are logging on to tend their crops on their virtual farms several times a day.
I mean, your potatoes go bad and you can't harvest them, that could be a pretty bad day for you.
And every time your farm grows, all your friends are sent a message. It's the status of one day achieving an elaborate fake farm like this that keeps Nick and others coming back.
I mean, that looks like the most fun I've ever had in my life right there.
The New York Times reports a record 62 million people have signed up for Farmville since its debut in June. Whether from a city or a farm, literally millions of people have been lassoed into these games, trying to own land, buy farm equipment, cows, even horses. But why? It's not real, not like this farm. I go straight to a top psychologist for some real-life answers. Dr. Jim Sorrell explains it's not about the games. It's about belonging.
My sense is that people are looking for something to fill their lives with, something that feels meaningful and feels connected to others.
1 minute. Go.
But for some, it can become an obsession, and the reason may be deeper. A dismal economy, soaring unemployment rate, and mounting stress levels. Playing means escaping.
Do you think for some it's easier to play with make-believe versus deal with reality?
I think their lives feel so full of drudgery and they feel empty that they're filling hours that they don't think otherwise are meaningfully spent. And I guess that's a concern to me because there has to be, and I hope, and there are more meaningful things to do with your life.
And when fun becomes obsession and interferes with everyday life, Dr. Sorrell says family members or friends need to step in. Talk about the impact too much time on the farm is having on their real-life relationships without attacking the game itself.
I was more looking for something to do.
For Nick, this fake farmer says he knows when to sell, but until then, he'll plant another crop or two to help pass the time. Liz Dorland, Action 3 News.
And speaking of passing...
Isn't that ironic that the Channel 3 News had nothing else better to report, that was their top story about us being on Facebook, playing Facebook, which is not costing anybody anything. I guess going to the casino and losing your money, not being able to pay your bills, or committing a crime would be more feasible. I just wanted to show you some of the top people on my neighbors for farms, and I say, hey, if we want to play Farmville, that's our right to. We're not hurting anybody. This is Monty's farm. She has a beautiful farm. She's in my top 3. The first farm was Felicia Farm. These are some of the prettiest farms that are friends of my neighbors. This is Mr. Coleman's farm. And the last farm you will see, it will be Tracy Mitchell's. So I just think, hey, if we're not bothering anybody, we're not hurting anybody, let us do Farmville. In a time when our country is in an economical crisis, we need something to relieve the tension. Reporting live, Miss Wallace, standing up for Farmville.